Welcome back to Inside City Hall. As we have been reporting, Congressman Anthony Weiner was in full damage control today. At a highly unusual press conference, he ended a week of speculation by admitting that he had indeed posted a lewd photo to his Twitter account and made it clear that the incident was part of a longer pattern of behavior with at least 6 women. The congressman also said that he had no intention of resigning. But what does this do to his political career? Here to offer their thoughts on Anthony Weiner's dramatic press conference and much more are the 4 members of our Consultants Corner. We've got Republicans Susan Del Percio and Rob Ryan, and Democrats Eddie Castell and Scott Levenson. Good to see all of you. It was a lot of bad news. Not that many good ways to package it. What did you make of it? I'm sure you guys were all riveted by this.
What took so long? I mean, if he would have done this on day one, he certainly would have been ahead of the game. And I also wonder is, he said, you know, this only happened, there were 6 women over 3 years. If just one more comes out, I mean,
he said about 6. I was listening.
Okay.
We're parsing this man.
About. Okay, no, about 6, yeah. But about 6. But if several more come in that, you know, don't have claim, or they say, oh, it was 5 years ago or more, I just don't know that this is 100% closed. If he, you know, you have to believe that he gave all the information, but the way he's handled things so far, I don't have a lot of confidence in that.
The other side of what took so long is, would Anthony Weiner have come forward? Were there not all these people on his trail going to out him anyway? When would he have told the truth? I mean, that's the character issue that I think the voters have to address.
If he
would he have ever come forward if people hadn't challenged his initial press conference, if people hadn't done additional research, if women hadn't come forward? Would he have ever told the truth?
Interesting. And of course, Eddie Castell, you worked on a mayoral campaign last time that he was in for another candidate you worked. I noticed today that none of the questions, I mean, 2013 didn't even come up. It seems like that's a done deal now.
Well, I can't speak for him, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the question is, there's so many more questions that are in front of him right now about him dealing with the press, with the public, with his family, about his credibility, and I think about his seat. And I think those are all the issues that he needs to be addressing now, that I think he started to address today. I think 2013, as I said, is something that's very much not in the target and in the range right now.
Now, he's won that seat by comfortable margins, although for New York City it's a relatively close race.
More than comfortable, actually.
His initial race against Melinda Katz was a tough race.
Right.
And the Republican that ran against him this last time got 40% of the vote, which in previous times, I think the person would be happy to get 18%.
Right.
So.
Right, and that, in fact, that tracks with what presidential candidates have gotten in the 9th District. McCain and George Bush both got around 44%. So it's for New York, it's a competitive district, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's truly competitive. Well, let's just talk about the press conference. One of the stranger ones I've ever watched.
You mean since there were 2 people involved at different times?
Well, you know, we didn't carry when Andrew Breitbart, the conservative activist, took the stage at the appointed time and held his own press conference. We weren't there for that. We didn't think it was of any interest.
He actually, and it was reported later on, that members of the press actually asked him to get up there because they were asking him all these questions anyway, and they actually kind of pushed him along to say, will you go up there?
They forced him onto the stage.
Well, I wouldn't say they forced him, no, but I mean,
carried him on their shoulders.
I'm not defending him one way or the other.
Whether one person or another asked him to come up is somewhat irrelevant.
But right? I mean, more importantly, I mean, you're right. You go to Anthony Weiner.
Well, let's just do his damage control. How did you grade his handling of his problem? F. No mitigating.
What else is there to say? I mean.
Well, but we're not talking about the underlying circumstance. How did he handle his very bad news? There's no A+ way to deliver that, I guess.
No, but you do it 10 days ago. He consistently had press conference and spoke to people and lied, even though he knew the truth. He didn't think it was going to come out. It goes, I think, to Scott's previous point of he never would have said anything if he didn't have to. And you know, in this day and age, it always comes out. I wish elected officials from both parties would understand that it always comes out. There's no hiding anything anymore. It will come out. If you take a picture of yourself, if you send a note, whatever it is, it will come out. You know, old school politicians kind of had it. There was a saying that never write what you can say and never say what you can wink. Kind of a good way for these new guys to look at things.
Politicians or the mafia? Eduardo Castel, you're great.
Well, I actually graded him on the question of the press conference. I gave him a B because I think it's exceedingly hard to stand up there today, to do what he did, to confess that he lied to his family, he lied to his wife, he lied to the press, he lied to the constituents. I think that was very hard, and to start to begin that. So I think his handling of the press conference itself garners a B. I think, to Susan's point, how he handled this entire incident, that's a different story, because he should have done this earlier, and he wouldn't have been put in the position he was today in some ways if he would have handled this differently earlier.
Rob Ryan, you're great.
I gave him a F minus.
F minus?
An F minus.
A new low on the show.
A new low. And I think he deserves a new low. And, you know, I think, to what everybody else was saying, you know, part of the problem here is this was not your average, hardworking, diligent congressman. This was a guy who is basically an attack dog for the Democratic Party and who jumps on everybody all the time, has had a holier-than-thou attitude, and the arrogance has always shown. And I think, as Susan said, he should have come out when this first broke and said, I screwed up, I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. The guy obviously needs help. I mean, he really does, because not only was he lying to the American public and his constituents, but he was lying to his staff and he was lying to his wife. And I think when people look at that, they become shocked that you're gonna lie to the closest people to you about a subject like this.
You say he needs help. If he had declared himself some kind of addict, I'm sure you'd have given him an F double minus, right?
No, I don't know. But I mean, it's obvious. You know, if he's lying about this, what else does he lie about?
It's a good question.
I mean, that's the question, and that's the question the voters are going to be asked.
He lied to my viewers, and that's not something we take lightly around here. Scott Levenson, you're great.
I gave him an F. You know, after a week plus of deny, and attack, no matter how good his performance was, and I agree with Eddie, it was a tough thing to do, to shed a tear on national TV and confess as many of your sins as you thought you might get caught on. But you just can't escape that. It begs the question, would he have ever told the truth? Is he a truthful person, an honest person?
And from what we all know about the district, do you think has he got at least a decent shot at re-election?
Depends if he gets primaried. I mean, the fact is I think the Republicans are not going to put a lot of money and effort into 2012 in New York. So the question is, does he get a primary? Does he, or do other things come out that force him to step down?
And who, if the Republicans have a candidate, who the candidate is, and does he have deep pockets or something that he can actually put on a good race against him?
But really, the likelihood is if he's going to get challenged, he's going to get challenged within the party.
Charlie Rangel got reelected for crying out loud, and he had a full
Well, you know, a bunch of challenges.
He's a hardworking congressman. He's a smart congressman. He's delivered a lot for the district. It's going to be the voters who are going to judge against an opponent who is yet to reveal themselves, and you have to beat somebody with somebody.
What do you make of his national standing, though? It was Nancy Pelosi who called for an ethics investigation, so his nightmare is not over. And the Democratic leadership,
because people are going to check the ages of everybody he texted, are going to count the number of people he texted. The explicit nature of these texts are going to come out for days. No, this isn't over.
I wonder if he's going to have the opportunity to run again, because I think he might end up resigning, is my feeling.
Very interesting. Well, believe it or not, some other stuff went on in the world today, and we're going to talk about those. Right now, we're going to take a break, and then we'll have more with our Consultants Corner. Later on, we'll bring you more of the day's news, including a report from a heated city council hearing about the mayor's proposed budget. Also tonight, does today's announced ethics deal mean a change in the culture of Albany? We're going to take a closer look at the bill with Dick Dady of the Citizens Union. Stay with us.